Myself a voice, and then big face. Hi, hi everyone. Today on DevTalk we're having with us Kyle, the beautiful mind behind Farewell North, and we're gonna talk Puppy. And you know that's making me excited. We're gonna talk music. That's making me and too excited.
Yeah.
Do you want to introduce yourself a bit more and less in the puppy area, Kyle?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for having me. So my name's Kyle Banks. I'm, like you said, the developer of a game called Farewell North, which is an atmospheric emotional game where you play as a border collie going through the Scottish Islands. I am based in Scotland. You can probably tell from my voice I am not from Scotland. I'm from Toronto originally. I moved to Scotland about 6 or 7 years ago now. And yeah, all of Farewell North is developed here, and it's kind of a love letter to the country. And yeah, that's me.
Nice to meet you. Really, really excited to have you on.
Yeah, me as well.
Really, really happy that you said yes.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
We usually go through the whole origin story and like how did you end up making game? What was like tiny Kyle trying to up on the making game train? Where is it all coming from?
So you mean like making games originally or specifically Farewell North?
No, just in general. Just how did you end up going into the industry? How your interest started? Yes.
Yeah, so if you want to go all the way back, I went to college for accounting, and about a year into that, I realized as much as I like math, this is not what I want to do with my life. So I dropped out of that, and my roommate and I we were playing a lot of World of Warcraft at the time, and I logged on one morning. I'm just like college dropout Kyle, like working for the summer, trying to figure out what I want to do. I log in the morning. He's like online. I'm like messaging him, but he's not messaging back. And I was like, that's so weird. So I went over to his room, and he wasn't there. He was at work. So later that day, I was talking to him, and he was in computer programming in college, and he had written a script to like play the game for him. And I thought that was the coolest thing I had ever heard. Right? He was just like farming XP in World of Warcraft with this like script he wrote. I was like, my mind was blown. So I was like, that's what I want to do with my life. Not farm XP in World of Warcraft, but programming. So
it has to start somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah. So I went back to school for programming, and it was like the first day I learned to write like the first line of code. I was like, how do I make games out of this? And I was like messing around on the terminal, making like tic-tac-toe and stuff like that, and it just kind of grew from there. But it took like 10 years working as a software engineer at like tech startups, like not in games. 10 years of just like moonlighting and like picking up the skills and kind of like messing around on the side before I ever, started Feral North. And that was like the first game that was like, okay, I think I have like kind of all the pieces to actually assemble a whole game now. So it was a really long journey. But yeah, just from that first day of learning to write code, I was like, I want to make games. I got to figure this out.
Thank you, Andy. Welcome in.
Hi, Andy.
I am not there to judge any accounting person. I understand that it might be exciting for some, but I think you went like a more exciting path. Just saying.
Yeah, I look back on that and I'm glad with the choice I made. Yeah. But
Well,
no shade to accountants. Accountants
No,
are
no,
great.
no.
You
Yeah,
need them.
and we need them.
I'm
It's
telling
just
you right now, the title from that clip will be From Accountant to Game Dev.
Yes.
That surely is going to be one of the most popular titles. There is probably a lot of accountants that are wishing that they could do something. You might be the beacon of hope that all of those
For all accountants.
accountants, yeah.
there is a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle had a dream. You can have one too. Let's make an ad out of this. Can I up on?
Yes.
I'm sorry,
I'm gonna-
Jess,
I'm
before
gonna-
we segue to
Yes.
something else.
Go for it.
So from the farming on World of Warcraft to the game dev, there's like a couple of years, like you said, of software engineer. Were you still in Canada at that point?
Yeah. So, like I said, I worked as a software engineer for like 12 years, and I think the first 10 of those I was in Canada.
Okay.
The last two I had moved to Scotland, and it was just after I moved to Scotland that I started Feral North. We got here, we got a flat, and then like a month later, COVID happened, so like everything just shut down. And so I had all this like these plans to travel the country and see the country and all this like travel inspiration stuff, and that essentially got funneled into what became Feral North. And then I was kind of moonlighting on Feral North for a couple years, and then eventually got to a point where I was like, there's probably a year of development left on this thing. If I don't like go all in on it, I'm probably never going to finish it. I was already like 3 years in at that point.
Only 3
and I was like,
years.
you know what, I'm gonna, yeah. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take a year off. I'm gonna finish this game, and if it does well, maybe I get to keep doing it. If I don't, I just go back to work, and it's no harm, no foul. So I went full time on Feral North in the last year, which was I think 2 or 3 years ago now, and thankfully it did well enough that I get to keep doing this for at least another game or two, and we'll see how it goes from there.
So
That's cool.
you were a
That's
solo
cool.
dev on Feral North, from my understanding. There was like people you worked with like for the music that Anto is excited to talk
Yeah.
about, but it was all
Yeah.
you. Other than that, from the writing to the visual to the programming, everything is you. That's
Yeah. So so I was the only person working like 9 to 5 every day on the game, but there was like, I don't know, probably 20 other people who touched it in some capacity. But yeah, like music was a big one, obviously, and I know we're going to talk about that.
Heavy objects.
But yeah, the writing was shaped by the other people on the team, but like the kind of general idea, yeah, was came from me.
Thank you so much, Fuzzy Wobs. Thank you.
Fuzzy Wobs. I do not know.
Welcome
Fuzzy
in.
Wobs.
I know
Well.
Fuzzy Wobs. Hello, Fuzzy
Oh.
Wobs.
Oh,
Thank
he's
you
one
to
of
your
yours.
friends.
Yeah.
So, Fuzzy, if you have any like super deep question that you wanted to ask Kyle, never had the chance to do it,
It's the
this
moment.
is your chance. He said, nothing is off the table. Or
Nothing's off
kinda.
limits. Yeah.
So, and I just went French.
Yeah, you
for
went
whatever
French.
reason.
I have a question about, because my main interest in any kind of game is puppies. I would guess that you know that communities are interested by puppies. How did it all end up being around that beautiful border collie? And why Farewell
So-
North? Like the big question that you're probably getting asked like all the time.
So this is a story that's going to sound a little bit crazy, but the game did not start as a Border Collie game. It started as a Chihuahua game. I have
Really?
Chihuahuas, And it was inspired by my dog Barney, and it was about him trying to find the comfiest seat in the house. And you can actually play this game in Farewell North. Like there's an Easter egg you can find. She has like a little not Nintendo Switch that she
and
pulls out,
elves.
and you can
Yeah.
you can play this game. It's called Comfy Boy. But yeah, so it started as this Chihuahua game. And it was just really silly, and it was just kind of like a weekend project. But like I said, then COVID happened and all this kind of stuff, and I liked the idea of playing as a dog, and so the border collie, or sorry, the Chihuahua kind of somehow grew into a border collie, and we left the apartment and we went to the Scottish Islands, and it just kind of like grew from there. So it was a very strange transition. But yeah, the first month of the game was a Chihuahua game, so very very different.
I love that it went into the game too. It's really, really cool
Yeah.
that it made its way to it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I knew I had to do something with that. Yeah, had to include that somehow.
Funnily enough, one of the reviews, because I mean, like it's a conversation, but I still do some research. One of the reviews I heard were making a lot of comments on the right choice for like the dog type is really important, and they were making like the comparison between a border collie and a chihuahua. So you know, I
mean,
think you
so-
made the right choice.
I firmly believe my Chihuahua could totally be the protagonist of Feral North, but I think maybe a wider audience might have a harder time believing it. So Chesley really is a Chihuahua masquerading as a Border Collie.
Yeah.
It just people needed that Border Collie skin to kind of buy into it. But no, the choice of Border Collie was like it was very specific. Like they are, from the border regions of Scotland. They're very endemic to the country. They're a big part of like the kind of I guess like urban identity of the country. You see border collies everywhere. They're working dogs. There was a very specific choice, and they're
yeah.
very intelligent. They're very athletic. They're adorable. They're just amazing dogs all around. Like they're really really special. So yeah, it was cool to get to kind of explore that. And I don't have a border collie, but it was kind of a great way to kind of explore what that would be like a little bit.
That's really awesome.
Was it the first thing that you wrote? Or did you like wrote it with someone else? Was it just was the story? Because to be fair, I usually play games that we met after we had people on because I want to discuss them before playing them, and I haven't played it, but I know that the story is so emotional, and it's the depth of it and the way it's bring into the screen with a dog. Where was it coming from? Was it the first story that you wrote? Why did you decide to go for a narratively driven game? Is it the kind of game that you usually play?
Yeah, it's definitely the kind of game I usually play. Like I'm a big narrative guy. I probably read more than I play games, to be honest. I really just enjoy that. I love that kind of side of things. I wouldn't say it's like the first story I ever wrote, but it's probably the first one that like is publicly available in any form, or the first one I ever like really completed and saw all the way through. But yeah, I really enjoy the narrative side of games. Like that's what I play games for. So I wanted to definitely kind of lean into that. And I had an idea for what the story could be. I would say I had kind of like the bones of it. Like I knew where I wanted to get to. I kind of knew where it would start. I didn't know like all the kind of beats along the way, and we kind of figured that out a bit more organically as the game kind of grew, and we kind of explored what these islands could represent and where we would go and kind of all that kind of stuff. And I also wanted to kind of like incorporate some personal aspects of that, of like moving away from where you grew up and what it feels like to go back home, and a kind of like strange sense of things moving on without you. And yeah, there's like I would say a lot of me in the story, but there was also like Joanne Ross, who she voiced Kaylee in the game. She's the main protagonist. She brought a lot of authenticity from growing up in the Hebrides, which is on the west coast of Scotland, a chain of islands. So she brought a lot of authenticity that I couldn't bring. So she's kind of an additional writer on it. She, reshaped a lot of my Canadian dialogue into something that feels a little bit more, organic and natural. Little things
Scottish.
like I would say, I might say trail, but she would like, no, we'd never say that. We would say path. Like little things that like maybe aren't even obvious to a lot of people. And then also like just a lot of bigger ideas. And John, who's the composer, he joined really early, and the music is such an core part of the identity of the game. But he was also like really hands-on with kind of helping to shape the narrative and like what, those kind of key beats, like I said, along the way to get to that ending would be. So it was a real like kind of team effort to kind of put this all together.
I love that. I am a crybaby, so I'm not sure I'm ready yet for a game. I will need to be. But
A few people have
what
cried playing the game. I'm not gonna lie.
what was the first moment that you realized that what you were making was touching other people? Like, how was that realization? Like, was it just when you released the game or at event? The first time that hit you that that game was not only your story, but it was something that you could share and people were touched by it?
Mm. That's a good question. I think like with narrative, it kind of you have to sit with it. So like when you watch someone at an expo, right? It's really loud, it's really noisy.
Yes. It's
Can't
definitely
really pay
not the
attention.
right place for it, but
It's not. It's not. It's definitely not. But you get a sense for like whether the game's working, but you can't really tell if the narrative's working in that kind of setting. And then the demo goes out, and the demo's very short, and it does end on a little bit of a cliffhanger, but there's not a ton to kind of grasp onto there. So it was really not until release that was like I really wasn't sure if this was gonna land with anyone. Of course, we did a lot of playtesting, but we didn't want to playtest the final kind of
yeah.
moments of the game because
Yeah.
they're kind of a big part of why people might want to check it out. So we didn't want that to spoil. So yeah, it was really not until release day that like we were had any idea of whether this was going to land. We had a couple people actually, at my publisher, Moon Eye Studios. We had a couple people there where they didn't tell them the story. So when if for people who maybe don't know, if you're signing a publisher with a narrative game, a big part of that will be kind of like outlining what the narrative of the game is. They want to know that
Yeah.
this is something worth. So you're kind of spoiling it for the publisher, but they intentionally didn't tell a couple people at the team because when they read it, they were like, oh, this is not where I thought that this game was going. And we want to make sure this is going to land as well. So they intentionally didn't tell a couple people. And a few years later, when the game was finally done, we were able to have a couple of them playtest the game with no knowledge what the story was. And it like really landed for them. So that was like one kind of sign that, maybe we have something here. But yeah, it wasn't until the game went out. We did get, actually, sorry, one last thing, kind of rambling here. We did a couple of reviews. So there's another thing kind of people might not be aware of when you're releasing a game. There's something called a mock review. So this is not something that goes public. Like it's not something that people would ever read. It's just an internal thing where you get journalists to kind of review a preview copy of the game to get a sense of like where the game's at, maybe where there's some work that needs to be done ahead of release. Again, you're not like buying reviews here. That's not like you're scamming the system or anything. But those all came back, and the narrative seemed to be kind of really landing with them. So again, it was another kind of moment of like, okay, maybe we can breathe a little bit. Maybe this is going to work. Yeah, you never know until it goes out, I would say.
Did and I know that you have a publisher, so it's probably different. But did you get like flooded by people that wanted to reach out to you and tell you how much they were able to touch you with the game that you made? Because when I was looking for
Yeah.
you, it was difficult, and I was like going through mostly your publisher, so I don't know if you had like that wave of love directly to you too.
Yeah, I did. It was really cool, actually. And I still get messages, coming up on 2 years since release. Still get a lot of messages from people who played the game and it touched them in some way, and that's really special. And it's also kind of, I don't know, like a responsibility. I would say, like I take seriously. Like I'm glad the game landed in the way it did. It could have gone differently if it was, kind of like emotion porn, where you're just like making something sad for the sake of being
Yeah.
sad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
That's something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something we didn't really want to do. Like we wanted the game to be uplifting. We wanted people to maybe walk away crying, but uplifted and optimistic,
Yes.
and not like just sad for the sake of it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really glad that seems to have landed with people, and I'm still waiting like for that message where the person's like, screw you, like you really, like, ruined my day or something. But that hasn't happened yet.
I think that the intent is so important. So if you did not intend in making like a really sad game just for the sake of making people cry, people just feel it. It's in the game. The
Yeah,
way you
I think so
wrote
too.
it and the character and everything in it is gonna make people be emotional, but in a way that they don't feel trapped in it. It's a choice they're making to be emotional. So, I think it's a really great way to do it. Where
Or let me.
I'm sorry, I'm
interject.
just.
Yeah, because otherwise you're gonna run the show the whole time.
It's a
2
narrative
hours.
game. It's a puppy game.
know, I
It's
know.
a crying
It's
game.
your-
It's
Yeah,
my jam.
but I'm thinking like the guy that is going to have to clip all of this together and then publish it for the next week, and
That's not me.
what we don't know is what is the story about.
Oh yeah, we haven't even talked
You're
about that, have we?
right. I just
Yeah. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
clip
so
that and put it before all of the other discussion. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry. I forgot.
It's totally fine.
So,
yeah,
So
so
please,
do you want
Kyle,
to
would you
yeah.
introduce Farewell North for those of us who didn't play it? Please.
Sure, yeah. So yeah, so Farewell North's a game. I think we've covered that. You play as a border collie, but you're not alone. You're with your human companions. It's kind of a human dog duo, but you're playing as the dog in this game. And I think what's interesting about that is kind of as the dog, you don't really know why you're on this journey. You're just kind of like up for the adventure. You're excited to kind of get out and see the islands and stuff like that. Um, Without kind of spoiling anything, I think, just kind of like the key kind of intro to the game, we learn Kaylee, the human character, she's coming back home. She grew up in these islands. She's coming back home after the passing of a loved one. And we're kind of like revisiting some memories and kind of rediscovering our love for the place that she grew up. And so as a dog, your kind of role is the main mechanic of the game. It's not just a walking sim. The main mechanic is that you're restoring color to her world. And you're literally kind of bringing color back to her life. The world starts in this kind of monochrome gray, and you're kind of finding ways to empathize with her and bring sparks of joy through, kind of understanding their relationship, herding sheep and kind of like going through all these kind of memories of the activities you guys would do together in the islands, interacting with wildlife, stuff like that. And yeah, so you have to kind of empathize with her and kind of understand her journey, and you kind of pick it up as you go, and it kind of builds up to understanding, really why she's back and all that. So yeah.
So the from what I understood, the dialogue is really Kelly to the dog, right? That's basically how the whole like script is written.
Yeah, so it's primarily just those two characters. There are a couple other ones that have a little bit less screen time, but for the most part, like I would say like 95% of the game is just the two characters. So what was really interesting about that from a development point of view is finding ways to, not have that all just be pure monologuing. So Chesley he's a dog and he can't speak, but he can emote, he can react, he can bark, he can interject. And you as a player can choose at like certain moments to kind of interject in her speaking, and you might get different dialogue depending on what you do there. But yeah, you're kind of the game is kind of an exploration of their relationship, and it is kind of primarily about the two of them. And you're playing the supporting role, like you're not playing as the protagonist.
that's
Kaylee
a
is the
really cool
protagonist, and
concept.
you're trying to like figure out how to support her on this journey. Which yeah, I think it's kind of a unique role that you get to
Yes.
play.
Really,
And yeah, I was kind of
really.
excited to explore that.
Can you get pet? Because usually the question is, can you pet the
Course.
dog? But you are the dog.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes,
Can you
yes,
you
yes.
can ask for it? Can you ask for it? Oh,
So I didn't want a button that is just like pet me. We wanted to make it a little bit more like diegetic. So if you bark, she'll kind of be like, "Oh, what is it, boy? Like, what are you doing?" But if you keep barking, she'll come over and she'll check on you and she'll give you some pets, and that brings like a little brief spark of color to the
love
world.
Oh,
you
that
can do
is
that.
so
That's
okay.
perfect.
Since we're in the topic or on the topic of color, how difficult was it? We're going technical just for like a little bit, but
Sure.
like I've seen how the animation goes. I'm not sure what engine you made Farewell North in, but how difficult was it to do those like color radius things? That like how complicated was it?
It's kind of like anything. Like the basic idea is really really simple. It's just pretty much one line of code, to be honest with you.
You're a programmer, so
Really?
you're in
Actually,
Unity, I would guess.
Yeah.
I'm in Unity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's oversimplifying it. It's a couple lines of code to just the basic effect. Of course, then layering it into the world and getting it to work in all these different scenarios and kind of getting multiple color sources to all harmonize with one another and
Yeah.
making actually like a part of the story. That was kind of the harder part. But from a purely technical level, if anyone is super super keen, it's just SDFs in the shader, and it's a really simple kind of bit of logic to pull off. I think what's more tricky about it is as the artist, you always want to like perfect everything, right? Like make sure it looks great from every angle and like, all
Yeah,
that. But
and you
with this,
don't
you have to do
really.
it twice, right? Because you have to do it for the uncolored world and the colored world. So you have to
Yeah.
basically do all of that work twice to like make sure everything looks exactly how you want it to work. So it's a bit time consuming, I would say. But the pure technical side of it is surprisingly very simple.
I don't want to bring you
But
back to your accounting life, but have you always been an artist? Because it's like
No.
programming, accounting, and then art are usually like I
yeah,
would say
different
that I
fields.
don't know
Yeah.
a lot of people that are programmer and also artists. Usually it's different kind of mind that you don't suiting.
Yeah, programmer art's like the old joke, right? But no, tech art is like a whole discipline that is like for me, like I was never much of an artist, like just because I'm not great at drawing, I'm not great at color, I'm not good at that kind of thing. But I wanted to find ways to express myself, and programming, believe it or not, was kind of one way to
Yeah.
do that. You can kind of like build tools, build little things, and so that was a lot of fun. But I think when I discovered tech art, like shaders and VFX and all that kind of stuff, that was like the perfect marriage of
Yeah.
like everything I wanted to be able to do, but to be able to express my artistic intent through programming, which is something I was good at. So discovering tech art was really like it felt like finding a superpower. Like suddenly I could do all these things that I didn't know I could do before, using the skills I already had. And I feel like a lot of programmers, programmer art's like an old joke.
Yeah.
And I have a YouTube channel where I kind of try to like promote the idea that like you can create beautiful art if you know how to code, because tech art is, I believe, actually the best way to create like a unique visual style. It's the most efficient way to create indie games. You can use like asset packs and stuff like that, but give everything like a really unique flavor through tech art. And you can get really efficient with that workflow. So I think I think there's like so much potential there for people to discover if they kind of like open their eyes to what's available there.
I like that you're trying to push people to learn about that and to know more about it, because yeah, it's the old usual joke of like it looked like a game that is just a programmer did because the
Yeah,
art
yeah,
is
yeah.
not as much polished as it could. But if people learn about it and they dedicate themselves and they try to like push through that, they could make really special thing and really cool thing.
Yeah.
So it's a really nice thing that you're trying to share it with the world on your YouTube channel. I like that because the look of the
Yeah.
game is really cool. It's
Oh, thank
really
you.
cool. I like it a lot. I would say that I'm a bit biased because dogs, and I am there for all dogs.
That's yeah. Yeah.
but but all of it
Yeah.
is really cool looking. I like it a lot.
Thanks.
Speaking of being biased, I'm jumping way ahead, but I'm gonna forget the question if I don't
sorry.
ask it right now. Uh,
Did you
I
already
don't know what's
forget
the
it?
English word. Demographic.
Demographic.
Demographics. Yeah, is it
I know.
like the
I
anyway?
think yes.
So the male versus female
Oh,
gamer in your game. Do you know which one is higher? Because I would, from my white male in his age, would think that a girl would.
you're just saying that
appreciate
because of the
the game more.
puppy.
Yeah, I'm saying that because of you. Yeah, but yeah.
So I don't know the answer to this. I don't have like any way to kind of verify this, but just anecdotally, I do think it is. I would imagine that Feral North does skew higher in terms of female representation, like from players, than maybe the average game does. Every time, on my TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that, we do get a lot of comments from female gamers, which is super, super cool. I think there's the dog aspect, but there's also like the female protagonist
Yeah.
aspect as
Yeah,
well.
true.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Anytime you have like representation like that on screen, you're going to see kind of a higher uptick of people from that demographic. But yeah, I don't know the exact answer. It wasn't like something I was intentionally like, I'm going to make a game that specifically women are going to be interested in. It was
Yeah.
just like a really cool, just kind of fortuitous, I
Marketing
guess,
wise,
accident. But
I would say that the answer to that is there is more female that would feel inclined to play your game because of that dynamic, the fact that it's there's a relationship between the dog and the character that is female too, but it's also tailoring to older male demographic because
That's true.
the older like guys get. They don't want to play Call of Duty anymore because they don't have time. They have a family, they have a job, they have everything that takes too much time. And they want more depth in their experience, but on a smaller scale. So usually casual gaming and cozy gaming are touching more male audience that is a bit older than the demographic that is playing like action game. So I would say that I don't think that it's a higher rate for the female audience, but it's more than a Call of Duty, I would say, but it's not more than male. It's just it's a different kind of audience. That would be my marketing answer.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would imagine if I did have some sort of way to access this data, which again I don't, I would imagine that it is still more than 50% male.
Yeah.
I think, but
I would say
I
so
do
too.
think that the female percentage is probably much higher than a typical game, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I like it too.
Oh,
It's
well,
really cool. And it's giving opportunity for female audience to be able to put themselves in the game. But
Yeah.
but I think that male audience like depth and story and walking simulator and all of those, they do. It's just that they are not those that like those kind of game are not talking as much as lady because they're really excited to be able to have that opportunity to be excited about a game. But I would say that it's probably more than
I guess
50
that
still.
would generate more engagement.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah. That's a good point. And it's widely known that the female part of the social media bubble is way more active than the male part. So that would make a
Is it?
more engaging.
don't know.
Yeah, is it?
I'm
It is.
not marketing enough for that part.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I mean, just anecdotally, I think though, Jess, you are right. Like it is, there is like a lot of an older male demographic as well,
Yeah.
which is really cool. But it's maybe like the teenage male group
Yeah.
that is like, I'm not going to say 100% not interested, but
Less
is much
interested.
more-
Yeah,
yes.
less interested.
Yeah.
I mean, you would be surprised. I just for the while we're talking about this, I did two actually presentation of basically the game that we did in my kids' school, right? Because like it's the what are your parents doing kind of like presentation, and sixth graders and fourth graders, there were some actual interest in a narratively driven game.
And
So-
something else than Fortnite and Roblox, which is
Well, I mean,
a good
yeah.
news.
I mean,
Are
like, I
still
think it's with everything. Like, there's people of all walks of life,
Yeah.
like all walks of things. Like, it's you can't definitively say like any kind of rules like that. I think, you just kind of notice trends and like the people who are maybe replying or engaging or getting excited about things.
How difficult was your process to find your publisher? Because it's not we have a lot of like self-published people, but it's a really like specific and from my perspective really difficult but so I would like to know your story about it.
Yeah, so I think it's important to keep in mind that when I signed with Mooneye, it was 2022, I believe, which doesn't seem like that long ago, but in publisher terms, like it's may as well be decades ago.
Forever.
Things were really, really different. Like there was a lot of money going around in 2022. If you tweeted about your game, you would get a bunch of emails from publishers. Like it was just a different time. Mooneye reached out to me, and I was lucky enough to have a couple publishers reach out, and I wasn't super keen on working with a publisher just because you hear so many horror stories,
Yeah.
and I just didn't feel like it was necessary. But they reached out to me, and we talked a little bit, and it didn't really kind of go anywhere. And then I think I put the demo out, and they reached out again, and it was just kind of like the right message at the right time. We kind of got to talking more, and yeah, it just kind of like worked out really nicely. But it wasn't something I like actively seeked out.
Cool.
I've never really like gone out and pitched publishers before. So I don't really know like that process. I don't really have any advice for that. It was just like I said, it was kind of a different time, and it was just a lot easier back then, I would say.
It was not that easy because we've spent like 6 years on our project and we started in like 2019 and we'd never had we never went really far on that side, but we had like a really there was no puppy but there was like a lot of emotional sadness and like difficult subject, so it was not an easy one, and it all makes sense why
I will
we
say,
did
I
not.
think like I think narrative games are maybe a tough sell for
Yeah.
publishers. I think it's a bit of a harder route.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure everyone kind of says this about their niche, but I think making narrative games is like is a tough it's a tough business.
It is.
It's a lot of fun. It's very rewarding, and it's I wouldn't want to do anything else. But like, it's tough. It's Steam is not like the most welcoming of narrative games. Publishers are not always looking for narrative games. It's a bit of an uphill battle.
The
So you kind of
replayability
need like
is so difficult that it's not appealing for people that wants to make money. It's appealing for people that wants to change people and be part of their
tell
like
stories
journey and tell
Yeah.
Tell stories. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
would agree,
I think just
because-
from like a business point of view, it's a tough
Yeah.
it's a tough one.
Yeah, I would say that the business is kind of built to not make that an actual sellable product. Like just Twitch, for example, if you make a game, people play it on Twitch, even if it's like super popular. Well, you've got a bunch of people that have seen from point O to like the end live on Twitch, so they have less of a need to buy the game.
Yep. Yeah, and,
yeah.
and Twitch and streaming is like such a big part of
Yeah.
game marketing now that it's for narrative games, it's pretty much just like a whole thing that you kind of miss out on. Like you don't, like you said, even if you
Yeah.
get a big streamer playing your game, you're not going to see anything come out of that. Like,
people have seen it.
so yeah, it's tough. Yeah.
I don't know if you've or if you know about What Remained of Edith Finch, but I know that they were really vocal
love that
about
game.
the fact that it's such a perfect game. I love that game.
Yeah, it is. It honestly is. I would love to make a
the-
game like that.
The fish scene. Oh my god, I love that game. It's perfect. My top 3 for sure. But they were really vocal about the fact that so many people knew about their game, but the sales were not that high because people were streaming it and people were experimenting it through that lens, which they were really excited because people were seeing their game, but it doesn't make them able to do other game after if they're not able to be commercially like a success. But yeah,
Viable,
it's sad, but it's cool. It's so many things. When we go through narrative game, it's complicated. Are you working on a new
Yeah.
game right now? Because
I am, yes.
I saw like new announcement and I was seeing tweet and things like
Well,
that and
All right, Jess, let me pull you back just a bit. We're like not even at the 45 minute mark right now. Just give me 2 minutes.
sorry.
Let me just redirect that conversation, and I'm gonna bring Kyle back to the very beginning of Farewell. Because we're going from place to place to place to place.
Are we live?
I want
I'm
to
just
know.
having a conversation with Kai.
Yes,
We're not
we
live.
are
I don't
live.
care about anything else.
I'm not looking at the chat, but we are live. Speaking of chat, Old Man and Game better at presenting stuff than we are. Yeah, narratives have to
Have an extremely compelling story.
that makes you want to keep playing to find out. Yeah, and yeah. So talking
Yeah.
about the replayability of it all.
Thank you, Andy.
So Kyle,
I'm
you've
just
talked about why you were doing games, how you were doing games, but what I want to know, for real, is the reason why Farewell North exists. Because, like, you talked a bit about the couch comfy game that you started
Baby
working
Chihuahua.
on, but, like, the whole narrative arc of Farewell North, like, I would say too deep to just be something that is coming out of
Yeah.
a
You said
couch
there was a
comfy.
lot of you. You said that there was a lot
Yeah.
of you in it.
So give me like the you know, if you remember, or make it up. I don't know. Lie, I don't care. Make it interesting. Is there like an actual moment that you remember where you said, "All right, I'm going to go that way with the story." That's what I want.
Yeah, I mean, I think the I'm trying to remember, but I think like honestly, there was the Chihuahua game, and that was kind of like, it was fun. And I was kind of like in a prototyping stage at that point. So like I was playing around with this Chihuahua thing, then it was Border Collie, and then it was kind of like I think it was like 2.5D at one point. It was kind of like a side scroller, and then it became like open world. It kind of like it was, you know, the short answer is basically I didn't know what I was doing. The long answer is I was prototyping a whole bunch of things and trying to find what was right for the game. But no, I think like I was kind of just trying to figure out like what was the format of this game, like what about playing a dog would be interesting and fun. Once I kind of landed on that basic idea of okay, it's a woman and her dog, and they're in Scotland. Then it was okay. Let's take it to the drawing board and figure out like what is the narrative of this game, and I kind of like I said, I knew where it started, I knew where it ended. I didn't know kind of all the pieces along the way, like all the beats
Okay.
that we would go through. And yeah, those kind of came out through development. They kind of like organically sprung up, and as we kind of like put these two characters into different situations and kind of saw what came out of that and what was interesting about it, there was kind of like I would say kind of like really obvious, like maybe not in terms like I do think the game has like great twists, and the narrative isn't going to be obvious when you start playing it. But I think from a development or a writing point of view, it was like there was a clear path that just kind of like emerged, and kind of it was kind of, yeah, like just a really organic experience, just kind of like uncovering this story that kind of felt like it was already there, and just wanted to be told essentially.
Right. So basically, the tech part was done, and then you filled that world with a story.
Exactly.
Hey, that's
Yeah.
cool. That
Yeah.
is
I
cool.
would guess that the answer is no to that question because I think you said we earlier today. But when you moved to where you're living right now, were you alone? Was it like a move that you did on your own? That was like kind of a path of like finding home and finding the core and like your place in that new environment.
No, so it was my wife and our
Okay.
two dogs that we moved. But yeah, so we had a house in Canada, and we sold the house, sold the car, sold like everything we owned. We just moved with our two dogs and two backpacks, and we basically landed in London, and we just traveled for a few
Oh,
months
that's
up the country
cool.
and until we got to Scotland. And I had been to Edinburgh, which is where we ended up staying. I'd been there for like a weekend before, and I knew from that one weekend that like that was where I wanted to be, but we didn't really have like a destination in mind. I maybe had hopes and dreams that my wife would love it as much as
Yeah.
I did. But yeah, it wasn't until we got here that it was like, okay, this is home. We're gonna settle down. We're gonna kind of rebuild our life in this place. And Edinburgh really is home now. Like we both absolutely love it. I couldn't imagine leaving at this point. Um, so there was like a kind of sense of like I feel like my life was there was like before the move and after the move. Like it does feel like a very pivotal moment in my life. But the game, like I said, it kind of sprung up around COVID and not being able to travel, and being like locked down in this new country, not really knowing anyone, and other than my wife and our dogs, obviously, and just like a way to basically explore the country through research and art, as opposed to just you know be
Yeah.
able to physically go.
Yeah, yeah. But how was it? Because, like, I'm guessing that you didn't predict the fact that COVID would hit
That would
shortly
be
after
weird
you
that you
moved.
answered yes to that. Yeah, planned
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
How was it? Because, like,
yeah. It
Andy,
was kind of
for
crazy.
example, he's from Cambridge, right? But, like, he knows people around. You were there with your wife, at least. But still, like you didn't
Yeah.
have any like neighbors, and I don't know how. Yeah, basically, how was the experience of uh, uh, the lockdown that happened?
So it was kind of complicated. Like I have very strange memories of that time. Like it feels like a fever dream. Edinburgh is a very touristy city, and we were very naive. And we our first flat was in a very very touristy area, like one of the busiest places in the country, essentially. But just after we moved, everything shut down, and so we basically had the whole place to ourselves, which was really really cool. Like Edinburgh has a very famous castle right in the middle of the city, and today it would be insane to think about going up there by yourself. It's just tourist central. There's like 10,000 people standing at the front door of that castle. But during COVID, it was like take a coffee, walk the dogs, and wouldn't see a soul. Walk all the way up to the castle, walk all the way back. It was really cool. So it's a great way to explore the city. But yeah, there was definitely like a social dynamic to it where like if I didn't have my wife with me, it would have been a very different
really lonely
situation.
moment.
Yeah, like I might have ended up moving back just for the sake of like having some company. That said, I'm a very introverted person. I'm very happy to kind of be on my own as well. So like, I'm not saying I want the world to go back to that or anything. But, like, I can enjoy.
There was
kind of
positive to it.
Yeah, there was like some enjoyable moments.
You could find the silver lining of it.
Yeah, but actually, so at the time I was still working in tech, and I was working at this startup that was based in Ireland. And there was a few people who worked at that company who were kind of in a similar situation where they had like kind of moved to Europe and like worked remotely, and so there was like kind of a few of us who had like a little bit of like a support group at work where we kind of like talk about
Cool.
and like kind of share that experience. So that was just kind of like a really like lucky accident that was available, and I think that did help a lot.
That's cool.
Sweet. Just curious, why Scotland?
Yeah.
Why not like Azerbaijan or Pripyat? I don't know.
So
I mean,
it was
radiation society.
Yeah. It was going to be Germany actually for a while. That was the goal for quite a while. I wanted to move to Germany. I am lucky enough to have a British passport just through my family. My dad and that side of the family is all from Glasgow. I was the first one born in Canada. So I just have citizenship here, which is really, really lucky.
Nice.
Brexit happened, so that passport became a little bit less valuable in Europe, unfortunately. But I mean, Scotland's like definitely not a consolation prize. Like Scotland's an amazing country, and I'm really, really happy to be here. And it's such a welcoming country, and like so many amazing game devs here. There's like a really great, community of developers based in Scotland. There's a long history here with Rockstar being from Scotland, and lots of.
You're right.
Hi, Journey.
Really, yeah, lots of just really like incredible developers here. So it's been really cool, and I honestly think like Scotland is a big part of not just like the identity of Feral North in terms of like a narrative point of view, but like the support and like just like the community here was a big part of like making that game as well.
Like that. That's really cool.
I'm just gonna ask the question because like I can't find a place to ask it that would make sense. Farewell North. Why name your game with that title?
It's a bit weird, right? Because it's like it's not grammatically correct. Like it should be like if North was a name, which it's not, it would be like Feral Comma North. And then if it's not a name, it doesn't actually really make a whole lot of sense.
And
so
marketing wise, you're in the F, so it's yeah. Okay, so go ahead.
So the name actually comes from a Robbie Burns poem, "My Heart's in the Highlands." It's a song that that is a big part of the identity of the game. In that song, he says, "Farewell to the Highlands, farewell to the North." So the game was actually called "Farewell to the North" at one point, but that was kind of a mouthful. And then there's another game that name has kind of a similar structure.
Yeah.
That the game was already kind of getting confused with, so it just got shortened to Farewell North. But yeah, so it comes from that song.
Journey, you know that song. Okay. She already knew the answer to that. We're not special.
Yeah. Journey.
Journey is the big fan I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, Journey says Scotland is my dream country, playing games based there as release sparked my interest. Little did you know, Journey, that Kyle is Canadian.
Yes.
So he's the dual citizen kid. Canadian,
yes.
Scottish,
Brit.
But yeah, we're all part of the Commonwealth. Anyway, you were talking about songs,
Oh,
And I guess I'm gonna jump on that train and make you talk about the music of your game. Starting with who is the artist behind the composition that we can hear in the game?
Yes, so I love talking about the music because this is where I get to brag because I have absolutely no musical talent. This is all other people I worked with that did all the incredible music in the game. So the composition is John Konsolakis. He joined he was the first person to join the project with me, years and years and years ago. He worked on the project probably for like 3 out of the 4 years of development,
Oh yeah.
and he is just an absolute brilliant composer. And he's able to take my really rough, really you know,
Uneducated.
uneducated, unsophisticated musical ideas and just run with it and create something far beyond anything I ever could create without him. Like I was saying, so Farewell North comes from the name of a song, a Robbie Burns song. If anyone doesn't know, Robbie Burns is a very famous Scottish poet from the 18th century, 19th century. Um, and a big part of like Scottish identity and stuff like that. Very very famous here. But this song was kind of like if you listen to the lyrics of that song, there's a lot of kind of inspiration that came from that. And as Journey will know, it plays a role in the game where it's this in the game world. It's a song that the character's mother used to sing, and you're kind of like remembering the song as you go throughout the world. And so for that, we were we really wanted to pay homage to that song and find a way to include it. And I was really glad that we were able to do that and come up with a way that it's like in the game world and the characters know the song. The characters are kind of have this intimate relationship with the song, but we needed a voice for it. And so for that, we worked with Siobhan Miller, who's an unbelievable Scottish folk singer. She's absolutely incredible. She's so good. She's so good. And that was like, I was like, when we were trying to figure out who could do this, I was like, if we could get her, that would be like emailing Taylor Swift and being like, you did, like to me, it was like that same level. Like I was like, there's no way that this is gonna happen.
you were the
So
one fangirling there.
yeah. I was 100% fangirling. And so I emailed her, and like a few hours later, she called me, and she was like, it was crazy tight in terms of like we needed to get this song done in like a month or something, and she was in I think Belgium doing some stuff there, and it was basically like one day that we could get her into a studio in Glasgow and record this thing, and we had to do 3 versions of the song, and it was really cool. But for me, it was like I got to just basically get a private concert. John and Siobhan did their thing, and I was just like, this is amazing. Like I have no input. Like there's nothing I can improve on this. But it was like my favorite day of development. It was really really cool. So that was a long answer. I can't remember what the question was.
No,
Yeah,
no,
so
no.
John Konsolakis and
John and
Siobhan.
because you answered my second question because like I was wondering who sang the theme song that we hear throughout the game. Is there and I'm not gonna get technical, but the composition seems to be, like you said, based on like 18th and 19th century kind of rhythm and vibe. Did you guys use like an actual orchestra, or was it just digital? Because it feels really organic. It feels like it's coming out of like a concert hall
Oh wow.
with better
Yeah, no,
audio.
so I think it's a mix of both. So we did have live instrumentation for a few different instruments like viola, violin, cello, I believe, flutes, the Uilleann pipes, which is like a Irish kind of similar to the bagpipes. It's an Irish type
Yeah.
of pipe. So we did have some live instrumentation, and then there is, I believe, digital kind of layered in there as well. But yeah, there was, especially for like the theme song, we definitely wanted to have that live instrumentation to get that like real feel. Right.
And did John like what he did with that? Like at the end, was he like,
As
"All right,
proud."
I'm done"?
That's a good question. I don't know if I ever asked him if he liked it, but I hope so. I hope he's really proud of it. Like he yeah, I always tell people like if the game doesn't seem interesting to you, at least check out the soundtrack because he made something really really special there. Like the whole soundtrack is absolutely amazing, and he won an Ivor Novello for that, which is a huge honor in Britain. We were like on stage in front of like Bruce Springsteen and U2, and it was just like a really surreal moment. And
so
all these other
cool.
artists, and I'm like,
Wait. You cannot just like skim over Bruce Springsteen and YouTube. I'm on the stage winning something, and it's no. I want like details. How? Why? When? Let's start with the when. When was that?
So that was last year. I can't remember the exact date, but it was the 2025 Ivor Novello Awards.
Okay.
The Ivor Novellas, so I had never heard of these before moving to the UK, and they're very interesting because it's a very like artist-led awards show. So it's not really televised. There's like kind of some backstage interviews that are televised, but the main awards show is just very private. It's just like all these people in a room, and it's all artists, and it's just like a kind of celebration of music. And so there's awards for best pop song and all that kind of stuff. And I think Charlie XCX won the best song or something like that. U2 was there getting like a lifetime achievement award. Robbie Williams was there doing something I can't remember. It was just like it was
name
insane.
dropping.
I could see like Ed Sheeran from where I was seated. And somehow we were there. And I don't really know how that happened. But it was a really cool experience. And yeah, somehow we won Best Video Game Soundtrack, or John won Best Video Game Soundtrack. And he asked me to come up on stage with him, and it was just really cool. And he gave a great speech. I can't remember a single word of it because I was just like transfixed looking at like the front row and being like, I know who these people are. This is weird. And they're like looking at us and like, they don't know who we are.
Hi, Bruce.
Yeah.
Hi.
So it was a really, really weird experience. But yeah, it's obviously like a huge honor, and so I'm so glad that John was able to win that. And so yeah, I really hope that he's really proud of the soundtrack, and we're working together again on my next game.
Nice.
And yeah, it's working with John was a real special collaboration.
And so
How did
I
he
don't
end
want
up
to disturb
working-
you, but does it
No,
look
it's-
like a good segue? I feel like a good segue. I'm just saying.
To talk
I'm not.
about the next game?
I don't know. I feel like it.
I would. Let's do
Go.
a little parentheses.
I'm
here.
letting you do
I
your
would
thing.
agree with you, but I'm pretty sure that we won't go back to music.
Oh, it's
talk,
all right. It's
right?
all right. I
So
was
I'm
just
gonna,
saying.
like, go deep in it,
But
and then I'm gonna let you
Yeah.
do the next.
It's
thing.
all
Okay?
good.
Cool.
I just felt like it was a good. Yes, next game journey. We don't talk about it right now. We need to wait. Suspense.
All right, we can talk about
No,
the
no,
next
no,
game.
go
It's
ahead.
all right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's fine. I forgot my question anyway. I had like the perfect segue. You cut me off, and again, I forgot what I was going to say. It was music related, and I was talking about John.
Yes.
And I don't remember.
I'm so sorry.
I don't.
I felt like it was a good segue. Usually you're the
It
one
is.
jumping on it. I just wanted to make.
Yeah, but I'm talking about music. You know.
So,
Okay, so Kyle, here now,
wait, I need to
you're gonna
snooze
reveal
the ad.
what is.
Snooze the ad. I
Come
did
again?
it. I just needed to snooze the ad.
okay,
That wouldn't have been
Yeah.
kind, so.
Let's talk about your next game. And then
Ad.
So, next game.
Yes.
When?
So-
What?
So next game is very different. Couldn't possibly be more different. It is a psychological horror game. It is a cooking sim game. It is also set in Scotland, which is cool. I'm working with the Scottish cast again, and John, like I said, is doing the score and the sound design and stuff. But yeah, it is very, very different on the surface. I think what I'm hoping for, well, I should say actually, so the game is called Donut Panic.
Oh.
And so it's about a man running a donut shop while suffering from hallucinations, which sounds wild and very, very different, and it is very different. But under the surface, what I'm hoping is that people will discover that there's similar to a game that might just look like a cute dog game on the surface. There's a much richer narrative under the surface. There's a lot more to it than maybe meets the eye, and there's a definite like shared DNA between the two games that is like, if you just watch the trailer, you definitely will not pick up on. But if you play the game, I hope you do notice that there's that kind of shared DNA. But yeah, so it's called Donut Panic. It is about donuts and narcissism and hallucinations, and it is very, very different, I would say. But it's weird and wacky, and it's been a lot of fun.
I love that.
Yeah,
Do we have
Why?
anywhere where we can look into more? Is there a Steam page? Is there a link?
Yeah, this is
Oh,
Steam
cool.
page.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
there's
go check it.
yeah, if you just look up Donut Panic Steam,
Perfect.
it'll come up.
Yeah.
While she's looking at that,
Found it.
what's what's the inspiration behind it? Because like I understand, like, if you go deep into the narrative side, there's going to be like a common thread, but that's an interesting theme compared to Feral North.
Yeah. Yeah,
Where
so
did the idea come from?
it's again kind of turned out to be a very personal thing. So it's after Feral North came out, you go through a few months of like bug fixing and kind of the whole press side of things, and then things are quieting down, and it was kind of like prototyping some ideas for what the next game will look like. And I kind of felt like I was not stuck, but like I felt like I was like supposed to make another kind of wholesome game, but like I kind of felt like I was also kind of like rejecting that idea. Like I just wanted to do something completely different. But so for the first little while, I was prototyping games, and I was like, okay, it's got to be wholesome, it's got to be cozy. And I was making like a little cozy cooking game where you made donuts and ran a cozy donut shop, and you would like learn the customers and stuff. And this kind of came about because my wife's a baker, and I went to work with her for a day to kind of see if that would be fun to kind of come up with some game ideas. And we were making donuts and scones and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, this could be cool. So I started prototyping this idea, but I just kept being like, I don't think I want to make another wholesome game. Like I need to do something different, like creatively, artistically. I just need to like do something different after 4 years of being in this cozy wholesome mindset. It's just I need a break. So I just kept prototyping some other stuff. One of them was like a horror game about a 1800s icebreaker. So you'd play like it was kind of a comedy, dark comedy. You play as a safety inspector on an 1800s icebreaker, and everything's going wrong, and the ship's stuck in the ice and stuff like that. And I was like, I have this donut prototype. Maybe I'll just like make a kitchen on this icebreaker, and it has like a donut shop, and it's you have to make donuts for a day or something. And then as soon as I like saw that like horror donut kind of combo in that prototype, I was like, oh, this is the game I want to make. And that like everything else just went away, and I was like kind of laser focused on like horror donuts. And so that's how it came to be.
Like Jordan is saying, the beauty of like being a small dev is you can do whatever you want. So if you want to go completely different, you're still gonna find like you can do it. Nobody's gonna argue with you. So it's a really cool thing.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I think that's what being indie is, right? Like you can do what you want to do, get weird, get wild with it. And, it's been so much fun.
Speaking of nobody's gonna argue with you, are you getting published on that one? Is your publisher from Farewell North following you?
From the page I see, publisher Calbex. So I would say for the moment we're a solo and self-publishing.
Yes. For the moment, solo, self-published. I can say I'm having talks with publishers. I'm talking to a couple people. I can't say who that is or whether any of that's going to like come to fruition, but having a couple conversations, and we'll see.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm kind of, my goal again was kind of like I think I can take this one solo. Like I think I can self-publish, and lucky enough, a couple reached out, and we're just chatting.
I would you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I would say that your last publisher is more on the wholesome game kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So it will not be a fit.
Yeah, I do have a good relationship with them, and they play tested the game and like gave feedback and stuff like that. But like there's no crossover there. Like it wouldn't make any sense.
I really like that publisher. I'm glad you had a great experience with them, because I was looking into them before I knew about you, and I was like, they're cool. They look like they have a good vibe. So, and it's not all publishers, so
yeah. No, they're great. Like we've spent time at Christmas markets together. They're a friendly bunch.
Oh, we have Lexi asking, "Can you pet the dog?" And biggest fan, Kyle. Woohoo! And Journey saying that you definitely have a sale for her on Do Not Panic too.
First sale locked in.
Is it pronounced Donut Panic?
Donut.
Or Do Not Panic.
It's a donut.
That's the pun. Yeah,
it's
donut panic.
And yes, Lexi, you can pet the dog. It has been
You can
confirmed.
get pets. You can get pets.
Can you pet a donut in your next game? You're gonna need to have like
The-
something to pet at some point.
Well, you can with like a spatula. You can
Yeah.
you can kind of pet it with like some chocolate glaze.
There you go.
That's the
There.
important
Kind
part.
of,
Can you pet the donut?
yeah.
Yes, you can pet the donut.
Yes.
But since it's an horror game, like there might be like some, a gameplay loop where you need to pet the monster or something. Make it like a fluffy. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I have.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
No,
No, I'm not
you know
cutting
what?
your question. I'm not cutting your question. I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, it's all right. I will not forget that question. I swear to
Go
God,
ahead.
it's like the basic-ish question
Go ahead.
where like people usually don't answer. But I will not go ahead. Jess, you will.
My question doesn't have anything to do with what we were talking about. It's like a human question.
I'm talking release date right now.
Oh, go ahead, because we're in the time of the game, so you're first.
When are we seeing do not panic available on Steam, let's say?
So it'll be 2026. I don't have a firm date locked in yet. Obviously, you can kind of guess when horror games like to come out. But 2026, I'll consider.
Christmas, right?
Yes, Christmas.
Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas.
It is a
Yeah,
big
I work
Christmas
in
game.
marketing. I know that
Around
Christmas
December
horror games,
25, right timing for horror game.
Like we missed Valentine's, so it's got to be Christmas.
Yeah.
Of course. There you go. I like it. I like knowing stuff like that. It's really important.
So, I have a question. It's a human question. And it's not upon on a programmer, it's in developer in general. You seem to me like more of an introvert person. And you're really good at like speaking about your game, but there's a light when you speak about other people working on your game, not as much when you're talking about yourself. Was it something that was difficult for you to end up having to answer interview and like talk about yourself and your game all the time? Was it something that you were comfortable at the beginning, or was it something that was learned through the year?
Yeah, that was definitely like a learned thing. It's I think you're probably right. It's probably something that's still not like my my forte necessarily. I think there's also like a couple cultural, like Canadians, we tend to be like self-deprecating and not,
My God,
the
yeah.
most
Jesus.
egotistical. And then there's also,
Sorry,
like, the
I'm
Polish side.
existing right now. Sorry.
Yeah. A lot of like sorry is like every second word. Like we're constantly apologizing for our existence. So, but yeah, no, it's something that like definitely didn't come naturally to me. When I started Feral North, I also started a YouTube channel because it was also like I knew if I was gonna like take this game thing seriously, I needed to like kind of break out of my shell and like put myself out there. And so I started a YouTube channel. It was really nice because you can kind of like, edit all the things you don't like about yourself out of the video and just like put out this perfectly pristine, polished thing. So you don't actually need to like put yourself out there in a way. But no, that was a really helpful way to like just learn how to like talk about something that I'm creating and like, not brag about it, but like be comfortable being like, hey, here's what I'm making. I think it's pretty cool. Check it out, kind of thing. And then that I think probably helped with like public speaking and interviews and all those kind of pieces on the side that kind of came with that. Yeah.
Because you're doing it really well, and you're really interesting, and I like it a lot. It's really cool. It's just that I saw the light like going, like you felt more comfortable bragging about other people than yourself.
Yeah. I'll talk about the music all day. I don't know anything about the music, but I'll tell you all about it because it's not me. It's easy to talk about.
I'm looking at your YouTube channel, dude. Good job.
Oh, thank you.
Like 35K subscribers.
Oh, damn, good job.
That is
yeah,
35K
impressive.
and one now. I am officially the last
thank you.
one for the couple of seconds that we have right now. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I always joke, I'm like the worst YouTuber on YouTube. Like I just kind of like go with it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't
It's
really know why.
perfectly fine. Yeah, it's a weird
my
thing.
God.
It's a
Knowing why. I mean, your thumbnail, awesome. So I'm gonna say the art side of it as a critique would definitely talk to me. And you're doing shorts, you're doing all the stuff that needs to be done. You good?
I'm always saying that I'm too
You're good.
old for social. I don't understand any of it.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
Journey is saying sometimes
I-
it works, sometimes it doesn't. Describe YouTube in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Journey is a self-published video game critic, but with like a nice and that's probably why she likes your game, Feral North.
Narratively
that
driven
much.
game, puzzle
yeah.
game.
Nice.
Yeah. And she has a
Nobody said that
brilliant
you
mind.
were too old, Journey.
No,
Don't worry.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Kyle
yeah,
and I.
she has a nice sweet spot, which like barely no one does. She has like a big background in psychology, so she can like unravel the whole story. Really interesting.
Oh, that's
you
really
like
cool.
you started.
I'm working with a psychoanalyst for my next game, which has been a really cool experience, and she's helping to like write a lot of dialogue and some like in-game kind of notes and stuff like that. That's been a lot of fun. Yeah, and so this game might be just up your alley, Journey.
Yes. And there's a bunch of them, like our game that she reviewed too. That you're gonna find a fit. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
You're gonna have a video on Journey channel for sure at some point.
That's the first Feral North fan converted over.
Yes.
You made it. You did it. The first awesome horror game. Yeah, there we go.
Awesome horror game. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm defining new trends right now. All right. So, aside from doing being an indie dev, can we talk about the stuff that goes around it? Is there like any hobbies that you have maybe share with your wife or whatever that doesn't include a computer screen?
That doesn't. Sorry, can you repeat the last part?
That doesn't include a computer screen
Oh, yeah, sure.
or a screen.
Yeah, so I think like having hobbies is one of the best ways to make games. Like you can take those and like kind of apply something unique about yourself to put into games. So like I said, my wife is a baker, so that kind of like fed into Donut Panic becoming a thing. But yeah, we we like to do like hiking, and in Scotland there's something called bagging Munros. It's part of the game, but it's Munros are mountains above 3,000 feet. There's 282 of them in Scotland, and it's a big like lifetime achievement to do all 282 of them. We've done one.
Really?
So we've got,
Like,
Need to start somewhere.
yeah, we
I
gotta
mean-
start somewhere. Yeah. But no, going out in nature, hiking, and exploring, and Scotland really is kind of like a hobby of ours. Like going out and exploring as much as we can, making sure that when you live in a country, I think this is like a big part of why we moved. When you like Canada's an amazing country, but when you live there, you take it all for granted. Like I feel like I've seen more of Scotland than I've ever saw of Canada because like it's just like it's not exciting. It's like where you're from, like you take it for granted. We're trying really hard not to like let that happen again. So we're trying to just be tourists in this country still, and explore it and take advantage of everything it has to offer. We do, a little bit of painting and stuff like that. Hanging out in the garden, housework, old people stuff.
It's exciting to do those things. I'm just old too.
yeah.
You sound
I mean,
like
I'm not painting, but yeah.
you sound like a dev that has find a really well balanced like middle between deving and living. Was it something that you always had, or was it something that you've been forced to because it was just too much and too overwhelming? Because usually when we talk to them, they're like, life? What is life? I'm just always working and not doing anything else. And you sound like you found that like right line between those two.
Yeah, you've got a nice Zen face, which is
I don't feel
It's
that.
all a lie. It's just a facade.
Genuinely. No, I mean, I think like releasing Feral North took like everything out of me. Like it was a really rough last few months working on that game. I feel like I didn't leave the house for, I don't know, like months. It felt like a couple all-nighters, like, just working all day, every day. I think after releasing the game, I kind of vowed to myself to not do that again. And I'm lucky enough that the game did well enough that I can I have a bit of breathing room. I can't, just take a year-long vacation or anything, but I can like slow down a little bit and kind of like try to enjoy the process a bit more. And I also realized that we last year whenever our dogs passed away, and I was kind of
Absolutely.
like, thinking about that and how I feel like with games it's like you're always like chasing the release date because you feel like life is going to be better
Yeah.
for some reason like after that. But the whole journey, like if you're not enjoying the actual journey of doing it, I know it's a bit of a cliche, but if you're not enjoying that journey, like what's the point in
Yeah.
doing it? So I'm trying to just like slow down a little bit and like enjoy that process a little bit more. I definitely still have like a long way to go. I have tons of anxieties and stresses and all that kind of stuff. I'm constantly like dealing with self-doubt and all that stuff that everyone deals with, imposter syndrome. Um, so yeah, there's definitely things that keep me up at night, but I'm trying to like consciously like, you know, check out at the end of the day, leave the computer aside, go do something else. And yeah, I'm not always successful with it, but I think kind of getting there.
I
Yeah,
like that.
cool. One
Everyone that
little Monroe at a
starts,
time.
yeah,
Yes.
everyone that starts
Yeah.
developing games are like, it's just gonna be a sprint, and then it's gonna be fine, and then you realize that that sprint is gonna be there for like
That's it. It's
three,
like
four years.
that's the whole
You cannot sprint for that long. That's not possible. So
yeah.
if you do it, you're just not gonna get like any happiness or joy out of it. So you just need to slow down a bit. But it's really difficult because,
Yeah.
especially when you're a solo dev, but even with a team, but when you're a solo dev, you're like, if I don't do anything, nothing's gonna get done. So everything is like
Yeah.
on your shoulder, and it must be such a stressful concept. Journey is having a
Journey as
personal
the next
question.
Journey,
Of course.
you have the mic
Yeah,
Yes,
in
go
a
ahead.
textual way. Go ahead.
And then you're gonna feel a silence while we're waiting
Yeah,
for the
and
question.
there's gonna be lag, so I'm gonna like fill
Is it the moment for a
the
sound?
air wave with pressure. Yeah.
When you
I
have the
mean,
time.
we're not looking at you, but we kind of are waiting for you. So
All waiting on you, Joey.
yeah,
But yeah,
take your
it's
time.
it's a really good thing to have different example of the way people process those things and the way they learn about taking their time and breathing.
There is indeed well, from what we've seen, there's the stigma of if you want to be successful, stop having a life, just push everything into it. But
Yeah, like hustle culture and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, which is getting
It's
less
so
and less
toxic.
traction these
Yeah.
days, from what I've seen.
Yeah, definitely.
Journey says, I'm curious as to how you connected with the therapist to help with the script. That's something fascinating, and I'd love to get into.
Yes, it
And
came
also,
true.
our laptop froze. So this is, yeah, it is going through. Journey, need to change laptop. New laptop for
So-
Journey.
This is probably not the most interesting answer, but my cousin is a psychotherapist, psychoanalyst. So it was like a really easy kind of like, I was just basically the way it came about was I was writing the script and I was thinking that it was getting into an area that I didn't feel the most comfortable with. Like I didn't feel like I had like, the knowledge or the skill set to kind of like
Yeah.
do it justice and responsibly. So I just reached out to her and I was like, hey, can you have a look at this and like sense check it and kind of like, tell me, where there's maybe room for improvement or whatever. But what she did, she was able to like basically kind of diagnose the characters and kind of give me something real and tangible to actually work off of. And then she gave me tons of references and advice and stuff like that. I was able to do some research that way and then basically realize that like it just makes sense to just continue working with her and have her like actually write therapist dialogue or like in-game notes from the perspective of a therapist, and just like get that more kind of authentic kind of collaboration and result in the game than I would ever be able to do on my own. So I don't have like general advice on like how to get connected with game developers if that's something you want to do. But I will say, like as a game developer, I find it working with people missing. I find working with people who have like a unique skill set to be extremely rewarding and not to like take advantage of their skill set and like steal it and put it in my game, but like just explore something that I don't really have like that kind of knowledge on and kind of like see the world through their eyes and help like kind of shape a story together with them. So it was the same as working with Joanne Ross for Feral North and her kind of experience growing up in the islands of Scotland and
Yeah.
kind of bringing that whole side of things that I just wouldn't have been able to do on my own. I think that's really rewarding. So I just don't know from the other perspective, Journey. I'm sorry, I don't know how to kind of connect you with game developers. I would say like, like keep your eyes open on like Twitter and stuff like that, and like network with people. And I know it's kind of like a crappy answer, like no one likes doing networking, but
Yeah.
like just try and like get your name out there, talk to people, and kind of see where you can kind of help out.
Reaching out to new project, because just so you have a context, we have a new game we're working on, and Journey is reading through the script to like help with
Oh,
the
cool.
balance of like her character and just a relationship and everything. I think
Oh,
especially
awesome.
narratively driven games should reach out more to other people that have
Totally.
expertise to learn more about how they can do better, and they can like polish their relationship, the dialogue, the story, and everything. And I think there's like Reddit that's like I'm looking for a team, but there's people also proposing their skill sets so people can reach out to them to have a hand. But yeah, it's always difficult to start and to build contact lists on those kind of things, especially with developer and indie, and we were poor, we don't have like resources, we don't know how to handle teamwork. So yeah, but it's a really really cool thing, and
Yeah.
she's great.
I think
So
there's I think there's also like a hesitancy. Maybe this is just me, but like there's kind of a hesitancy where you're like, if I work with someone, then it's not like my story. Like I want to
yeah,
make it small and intimate and just like my thing. You know what I mean? If you add people to that, it starts to feel like I don't know, like you're worried it's gonna like lose that small personal flavor, or like
Yeah.
I don't know. But I honestly I feel like the most fun I have making games is when I'm working with like really cool collaborators, and I feel like that's like, you know, just like the joy of making things together is
yeah.
it's so rewarding.
We need to let go a bit
So
of
I
the
definitely recommend
like
it.
it's my baby, nobody should touch my baby
Yeah,
before I'm ready.
yeah,
But we should like open more, because that baby is gonna get better if there is more hands helping it grow and be better. But yeah,
totally.
that feeling of like
Yeah.
my precious, I think we all have that.
And again, I think it also comes back to like not striving so much for the end product, but like enjoying the
Yeah.
process of creating
The
something together.
journey, yeah.
I was listening to a podcast. There's an author. His name's Josh Mallerman. He wrote like Bird Box and a couple other like really things that have been adapted to movies and
Yeah.
and whatever.
Yeah.
And he was talking about like there's a book he wrote called Incidents Around the House, which is a fantastic, terrifying book. I highly recommend it for anyone who's into horror. Anyways, it's being adapted to a movie, and he was talking about like, people always ask him like, aren't you worried that they're gonna like take your book and like make a terrible movie, or they're gonna ruin it in the adaptation or whatever? And he's like, no, I'm just happy that like these people are together and they're making things and they're enjoying it. Like, who cares what the end result is? Like the point of it is to make the thing, not to have it be made in the end. Like, enjoy that process. Don't worry so much about like the end result. Obviously, you want it to be good, but like the process is the point of making things. And yeah, I just really kind of connected with that. Like, I think trying to enjoy the process of making games is kind of my goal right now.
I agree. Yeah. And
Wise word.
were you having difficulty when you released for Real North after that many years to feel like you had purpose? Was it like a difficult like
Yeah.
step of like being all the time on it, and then you didn't add anything to throw yourself in?
Yeah, there's kind of like an emptiness. I think anytime you work towards anything for a long period of time, there's like an emptiness when it's over. I used to compete in powerlifting, and it was kind of the same thing where like you train for like 12 to 16 weeks for a meet. You go to the meet. It's like the big day you've been working towards for a few months, and then suddenly it's like it's just over, and you're just kind of like floating, and you don't really know like what. And there was actually a name for
All the
this. We called it
structure goes away, yeah.
yeah, and we called that the post-meet blues. But I think games are just like that amplified tenfold because they take so long to make, right? Like if you're working on a game 4 or 5, 6 years, and then it suddenly comes out, it's like, what is my life now? Like I don't know what I do, like you just like you feel like you're kind of starting over a little bit. So I definitely had some of that, and I think I was like, like I said, I think the final few months of Fairwell North like took a lot out of me, and I think I realized I was like putting too much of my self-worth. I was
Yeah.
tying my self-worth too much to the game, right? So like if the game wasn't going to be good, then that meant like I wasn't good. So
Yeah.
like it was like everything was like too personal. So I'm trying to like detach myself a little bit, and I think working with people helps with that as well, because it's like
It's
we're
not
making
just
something
you.
together. It's not just me anymore.
If you're
Yeah.
proud of them, you
Um,
cannot say that you cannot be proud of the product because you're proud of what they did. So it's not just
Yeah.
about you being not.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, there's definitely an emptiness, and I'm sure I'm gonna feel it with I'm sure I'm gonna feel it again with Donut Panic. I think that's kind of inevitable. but that's also just part of like having goals and like big things that you're working towards.
See, wise word. Yeah. I don't think...
No, he is.
You look way more zen
right now. When we're going to do like a streamiversary, the next streamiversary, I want like a section where we give trophy to our past guest. He will have wise dev trophy.
I will put it right there.
Cool.
You will outlive all of us.
Because I remember the first time I watched indie games, like the documentary with Fish, with Fizz and Meat Boy, and after that, so many people wanted to go into game dev, and I was like, the only thing I get out of it is how depressing it is.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's wild,
Yeah.
Like, it is wild how many people cite that movie as like their inspiration to get into games. It was the same with me. I watched that movie like 10 times.
They're all depressed.
They're all so depressed. They're all having a horrible time, and all of us are like, yes,
That's what I want to do.
Do it.
Yeah. It's wild how that. But I mean, it is an amazing documentary.
Yes,
It's
it
really
is.
good. I feel
It
like I'm
is.
due for a rewatch. But yeah, I feel like maybe it doesn't have to be that way. Maybe we can enjoy the process a little bit more.
There
and, feel a little bit more
was
fulfilled.
for a long time, I think being proud of spending 6-10 years working on something and like not having a life and crying yourself to sleep was something to be proud of, and it's not the case. And I think it's a really good thing that we're encouraging people to not. It's I think it's a double edged sword, because there's a focus on really small short game that are out quickly, so you're not putting all of yourself into it, but at the same time spending that many years on something and not knowing what's gonna be at the end is also a really stressful situation. So yeah, we need to find balance.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I would, for the fun of it, argue that some of the best stories that we have seen as like a civilization comes from hardship and difficulties. So I mean, drama is a kind of a fuel, right? Too. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Fizz wouldn't be that good if I don't remember the name of the dev, but if he wasn't so depressed all the time.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, I think that there is something to be said for like hardship and conflict and stuff like that being like a catalyst for growth. I think that's definitely true. But I think for me, it's more about just trying to enjoy. If you're going to spend years on a project, or you're going to spend 6 months on a project, I don't really care like if it's you're doing the short game thing or the big game thing, but just try and like enjoy that. Like, because if you're making a 6-month game or small games, let's say a couple months, you could still take that and take that advice to mean, you need to sprint all the time, just constantly churning out games, and like you're working 24 hours a day to make the game as fast as possible. I think it's more about just like finding a balance and like enjoying the process of creation, as opposed to just being so focused on the end result. And obviously, we need to make money and stuff like that. Like, so you have to have the end result. But just trying to like take a moment to enjoy that process, I think. And yeah, conflict and friction is a great catalyst for change, but it's probably not the only catalyst for change and growth. So yeah, I think it just comes down to balance.
Yeah.
I don't think making games is ever going to be easy, and I think if it becomes easy, you'll have to push yourself further than everyone else, in which case it's going to become hard again. So like, there's always going to be that challenge there, and that's part of the joy of it. Yeah, just balance.
What's your take, talking about like making games in general? What's your take on the industry right now?
I mean, I feel weird talking about the industry, because I feel like I'm just like some guy in his living room. Like, I don't feel like I'm in an industry, but there is like a marketplace I can definitely talk about, which is it's probably quite challenging right now. There's so many games coming out, and I think with the push to smaller games, it's going to be even more games coming out with AI and stuff. It's going to be more and more and more. So getting your game to like stand out for the crowd is already, I feel like, the hardest part about making games, and it's just going to become even harder in the years to come. And I don't really see any end to that. Yeah, so I think it's like kind of bleak. I think things like subscription services like Game Pass and stuff like that are pushing the PC and console market towards like a mobile market where everything's being devalued a little bit, and we're going to get to like just microtransactions and everything, and every game's $1.99 or 99 cents or free to play. I really, really dread that, and I hope that's not where we're going. I think kind of like slightly one of the things that's like kind of encouraging about the current state of the industry is the fact that Game Pass adoption seems to have slowed.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's all Microsoft's fault, but like I think we should value games, and I don't think subscription services is the way to do that. I think at the end of the day, Microsoft's gonna be the one making all the money in that case, taking the hard work of everyone and just funneling it into Microsoft.
Yeah.
So I think like, yeah, I think that's maybe one kind of ray of hope that people don't seem super keen on these subscription services. But I think from a developer point of view, yeah, standing out and getting your game seen and finding an audience is going to be the hardest thing, and it's just going to continue to be the hardest thing for the years to come.
Yeah, I agree. It's something we need to think about like from day one. So
yeah. And I'm definitely guilty of this too, but like it is, you know, when you're starting on a new game idea and you're prototyping some ideas, you do have to think about pretty much from day one, like, can I market this idea? Does this have like, you know, financial potential? And I don't mind that side of thing. Like I said, I was in accounting at one point. Like I don't mind the financial side
you know
of things,
number.
but it is kind of like, yeah, it is kind of like a bit of a bummer that you have to think about that so heavily from day one.
Especially for a smaller team, because when we have a bigger team, you can dedicate someone to that part, or like admin and marketing, or like admin and social.
Yeah.
But when you're doing everything, you need to cut on the development to focus on that. And if it's not why you started making games, it's a killjoy a bit.
Yeah. I mean, like if you want to do this full time, it is a business, and you have to like, you have to deal with the realities of that.
Yeah.
It's a real
Like they say in show business, there's business in show business, so you need to take that into
Or
account.
you just make an absolute banger and you make millions and millions of dollars, then you never have to think about it again.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
There's that option too. Oh, I'm gonna take that option. Okay, I'm gonna wait for the million.
I mean, Nutch did that, and he won. He won
easy.
the life lottery. You know. So yeah, it's doable. Just do. That's actually something that I said to the kids in the classroom at some point, where I was asking them if they wanted to make games when they grow up, and everybody said, "Well, how can I do that? It takes us like a bunch of people, and you know, and they are all seeing like the Activision, Blizzard, and Rockstar, and like the big studios."
Yeah.
You know? I was like,
I mean, most
guys,
people don't know that like indie games exist. You know what I mean? Like most people know of
And I'm gonna
FIFA,
be
Madden, Grand Theft Auto.
totally,
They don't know
yeah, there you go. Totally honest. When I came onto the team of folklore games, it was because I was a community manager, not because I knew indie game. It was a field that I heard of, but was never going to like explore.
Yeah.
And Jess, as a I guess some kind of a like interview thing, she dropped What Remained of Edith Finch, and I had to play through it. And again, the fish scene made me understand that I was not playing a game like Battlefield or Batman Arkham Asylum or Grand Theft Auto, but there is a nice sweet spot where you forget that you are playing a game.
Mm-hmm.
You are being interactively driven inside a woven story. So
Journey
yeah,
saying,
thank
"I'm
you,
glad
Jay.
you see the light."
Yeah.
Indeed.
And yeah, never bought a AAA game since. I think.
So when you started, I'm gonna go back like far. When you started being interested by development, you never thought about going like in a big company and like work for a AAA video game
Being a
company or
software
things like
engineer,
that. Yeah.
that must have been par for the course, right?
Yeah, I mean, so I really enjoyed my career as a software engineer. Like I worked at like very small tech startups, and it was very creative in its own way. Every day was like different. You're wearing multiple hats. Like you're kind of it was a lot of fun. And when I say small startups, I'm talking about like 10 people companies, like really small, kind of building really cool things. So I really enjoyed that side of things. Making games wasn't really like I wasn't like trying to like get out of that to make games. I wanted to make my own games as a form of like expression because I just hadn't like found a way to express myself prior to that. And so it was just I was like happy for that to be a hobby. Obviously, if it made billions of dollars, that'd be fantastic. But like, it wasn't for that. It wasn't until Feral North where I was finally like, okay, it seems like people are actually like interested in this idea. Every time I like talked about it on like Twitter or whatever, like it seemed like there was like a growing group of people who were like excited to see updates on it. And yeah, in 2023, I think maybe 2023, the company I was working at, there was some restructuring post COVID. I worked in this like green energy division and it was kind of all laid off. And I was like, hey, I need to either find another job or just kind of go all in on this for a year and see what happens. And it was just kind of the right time, right place kind of deal where it was like just a perfect situation. I was like, I'm just going to go into it for a year. And if it works out, I'll keep doing it. Otherwise, I will happily go back into software engineering.
So,
and it thankfully worked out. But yeah.
It was never about being a game dev. It was about creating and expressing yourself. I like that. That's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, like, I wanted to be a game developer, but it was more like I wanted to make my games.
Yeah.
I didn't want to make games. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to make my story.
It is.
So, yeah.
Oh, I was answering Journey. She's saying that's beautiful, the way you're... Yeah, I like it. I was like, yes, but... Sorry.
All right. We are...
And actually, sorry, one thing, if you don't mind. Just going back to my answer about like the state of the industry, I do want to say, in a slightly more optimistic tone, I do think it's pretty amazing. Like, I can't think of many other industries where like an individual can pour their heart and soul into something and have the potential for it to be seen by thousands or tens of thousands or even millions of people and potentially even make a living off that. Like if you wanted to do that in music or movies or pretty much any other discipline, like
I would guess it would be more difficult.
Impossible. Veering on impossible. So I do think like there is still a lot of potential in games. I think we're in a good place where people can make a living doing this, which is really really cool. I just think it's going to get harder.
And even if it's difficult, there is so many platforms and so many ways that you can put yourself out there. So even if you're not successful or you're not making enough money, every time that I talk to young developer, I'm like, at the end of the day, whatever happened, you made a game and you released it and people can access it. The concept is just amazing. It's so cool. So even if it doesn't make you rich and you don't have like a commercial success, you can be so fucking proud of that because that's amazing and you made that. So yeah, I agree. There's a positive side. It's not just like all dark and gloomy, but
Well, I mean,
do you want to
I'm having difficulties adding anything to that, except the fact that I've read on Reddit, or I've seen on Reddit, that trend, what you talked about, Jess, like appreciating the fact that even though those people worked like a year on a game and the sale number were not as great as expected, having one person playing your game, buying your game, investing their own money to play the art that you made, it's great. It's a great feeling. It's a good feeling.
And not just the money, but like investing their day. You know what I mean? Like games are, even short games are quite long compared to like movies, for example. And they're gonna spend their day like experiencing something that you made. That's really cool, and that's a really special kind of like relationship there.
I agree. I like that a lot.
All right, so we're nearing the
we're closing on your question. Right now. We're closing on your question.
No, not right now.
No?
I wanted to ask something before I ask the big question.
Scary.
I still have time.
I'm intimidated by this question.
Really scary.
Don't worry. I would just like to remind you, Kyle, you said that nothing was off the table, so...
You're making it more scary.
So, before I go into that, do you remember the first game that you played,
I love that
but like
question.
either the first game that you remember playing or the first game that made you think, "Oh my God, you can do that in a game."
Yeah.
Like the innovation side of it.
Interesting. Yeah. I do have two, but they're different games in different times. So my when I was a kid, my grandpa bought me a Sega Genesis, I think for Christmas, and so
Nice.
I played the hell
Great
out of that
grandpa.
thing as a kid. Like, yeah, oh, dude, it was the best. But I remember one game that I played a lot of was Steamboat Willie. It was like Mickey Mouse Steamboat Willie, and it was so hard. And I was like quite young, but I don't remember being able to get past like the first level. But I played the hell out of that first level.
Every
And
first
I
game that everyone has is like, I never went through any first level. It's just I played and it was
Yeah.
bad.
and you played the hell out of that first level, and for some reason you just couldn't get through it. But yeah, I feel like games were
I'm gonna
just
tell
like
you,
they weren't
Kyle, the
hard,
first
they were just
level
like
is yeah, it's hard, but it's doable. Interesting side.
I'll have to
I'm
go back
sorry,
to that
I'm
sometime.
taking over your suggestion, but the interesting part of that game, which was quite innovative for the time, Steamboat Willie, if I remember correctly, and if we're talking about the same game, you start in the like first days of animation of Disney, and the further you go into the game, the further you get into the style of animation, and you end up with like Lion King's ish animation
Oh,
style.
cool. Well, spoiler alert, because I didn't get past the
Yeah,
first level, so
it didn't
thanks
you.
for spoiling. No, I'm kidding.
I
Shame.
mean, it's a bit late, but you know.
I'm gonna have to go back and check that out. But no, that's really cool. But yeah, I remember that game, like, even though I couldn't get past the first level, I just remember thinking like this is really cool. Like, because I'd seen Mickey Mouse on TV, but this is like I can
Yeah.
control it, and things change based on the buttons I press. Like, that's just revolutionary. It's really cool. And I played that, and The Tick was like a beat 'em up action game at the time, and
Yeah, I
there was a
remember that.
Punisher
Yeah.
game. I think my dad found like a garage sale where someone was getting rid of like a whole basket of like Sega Genesis games. So I had like the strangest collection of games as a kid. But yeah, I remember just like playing all of them and loving them all. But then the first one where I was like really like I guess it's World of Warcraft. Like the story I was telling
Yeah.
you earlier about my roommate playing World of Warcraft. That was like the one that
Yeah.
really opened my eyes to like what go like how games actually tick, and like how you can kind of control things like through code and stuff like that. But I also remember playing, I think Spider-Man on like PS1 or something. Was maybe like the first like open
That was a
world
good
game I
one,
played.
yeah.
And you could like swing through the world, and you could like change things. Like, it wasn't just like the game reacted to you, it was like the game like responded to you on a deeper level, where like things would change based on what you did and stuff like that. And that was quite like a special moment when you realize that like games have so much more potential than we'd seen up to that point.
It's not only about score. Ah, good choice. Good choice. And good childhood. Thank you, Granddad.
Yeah, thank you,
Sega
Grandpa.
Genesis was a really good choice. Although, I would say that the best game on the Sega Genesis is, and for the European people, it's the Mega Drive, right? But is Comics Zone. That game,
Never heard of
which
it.
I never
Comics
finished,
Zone?
even to this day. I like playing it all the time. You play
Comics Zone.
inside,
Oh, interesting.
yeah. You play inside a comic, and you actually go through the like. It's good. People play that game.
Very cool.
Um,
Oh man, I also remember like playing Sonic with friends, and you'd all like try and take turns trying to get past the level, and oh, good times. Yeah, Sega Genesis was great.
oh
NHL
my god!
94,
Yeah,
amazing game.
yeah.
NHL 94.
Two. Golden Eye. No, not Golden Eye. Golden Axe.
Yeah, yeah,
On the Genesis.
that's
Yeah,
good
a
too.
lot of sleepless nights at my friend's place because I did not have one. My friend had one. Or anyway, that dude had one, therefore became my friend, so I could play with him.
Of course. Yep.
That's how
That's how it
friendship are
works.
born.
Back in the days. Yeah, I'm trying to small apartheid. I'm trying to teach that to my oldest kid. We have like a neighbor, a couple of house, and they have a pool,
That's friendship.
an actual pool.
It's got to be your friend.
Yeah, no choice.
I'm like,
Even if you don't like
she's
them.
a girl,
Pool.
you're a girl, kind of the same age. That should be your best friend right now because summer is coming.
Yeah.
That question.
All
That
right.
question. That
Yeah.
question.
We're there?
I think
Cool.
we are.
The big one, eh?
The big one.
Yeah.
We need to give time, like,
Kyle,
plenty of time.
I am incredibly sorry.
As you should. You can take a nap, that's the moment. Yeah, here we go.
I'm really worried. What is this question?
Oh, the question is terrifying by its length.
It's
Her length.
yeah, it's something in itself. It's okay.
Okay.
Well, let me preface the question with a small introduction. I asked this question to pretty much everyone, right? That we have. Every guest has to answer that question. It's a hard question, as in it takes a lot of time to get through the question in itself. All right, answering it might be less of a hassle, but you know, I'm just saying right now, you do not have the option to just hang up. And if you do, you will be remembered as the wise dev that hung up. All right?
I would laugh so
Which might
hard.
be a good thing. But, you know. All right. Think of, like, the future.
It's not
You,
it's not
super
that
popular,
spontaneous
you know?
if you're telling them to do it.
I'm just prefacing.
Perfect. Just saying.
So, Kyle, you... Here we go. Kyle, you are that many years old. All right?
Mhm.
You spent a lot of time on this beautiful blue marble that we call Earth. You moved, actually, on that Earth, and you went from a place to another place. You grew up. You had a lot of experiences, right? You went, and I'm actually, Jess is like,
That's it. It's
I'm
new.
actually-
You're changing it. You're surprising me. You just wanted to like plug the blue marble, I'm sure.
yeah, I'm playing Kerbal these days, so yeah, that's pretty much fun. Anyway, throughout this lifetime that you had up until now, we have understood that you are becoming the wisest of them all. But there was a time where there were tears and laughter and blood and shouting, you know, like good and bad things, right? I'm trying to be equal on those two sides. A lot of experience, a lot of emotions, a lot of stuff that you've seen, and maybe stuff that you didn't want to see. But anyway, we're not going into that. So you need right now to take all of those experiences, and that's the hard part, right? You take all of those experiences, you put them inside one box, right? That box, all of your experiences in it, right? And then you take a cover, you put it on that box.
That's quite the question.
I know. We're halfway there. Don't worry.
Mhm.
So you put
Halfway.
It's nothing to not worry about when we're saying that.
So you put the cover on that box, and then you put a nice little bow on it, right?
Mhm.
Color
Okay.
of your choosing. You
Nice.
take that box into your hand. You look at it. You decide. You decide right now.
I'm
And
so
it's
sorry.
Really important.
So sorry.
Are you putting it on the side, on the left, or on the right?
I said we're not going political.
It's not. It's geographical, right? Okay. You don't even have to tell us. You put that metaphorical box on one side or the other, and then you answer that very deep question. Top 3 games of all time. Now, go.
The suffering is done. Now you have to think.
Oh man, that is tough.
I know. That's why you need to take
Hard question.
all of those things. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say Journey right off the bat. That's an easy one.
Nice one.
Journey is
PS3
just
game.
really special. It's a really special one. There's so many ways you can go because like Ocarina of Time, for example, that was like a life-changing experience.
But that's
fantastic game.
Okay.
But
Is it on your top 3 or is it not?
Top 3 can be nostalgic. It doesn't need to be. Top 3 can be whenever we want it to be.
No, it's all right. Take your
Okay.
time. There is no.
I'm gonna say Journey. I'm gonna say Control. I love Control.
Control.
It's a fantastic game.
Control.
But I could go Alan Wake too, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Control. I really really love that game. And I'm gonna say, oh jeez, I definitely can't stand by these because as soon as we are done this call, I'm gonna think of 15 other games.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes, you will.
I'm gonna say, okay, this is gonna be maybe a little controversial. I'm gonna say Last of Us 2.
No, I'm there with you. Yes.
Nice. Okay, good. Yes.
Yes.
That game tells a story that only a video game can tell.
Yeah.
A way that only a video game can tell it.
It's
and
brilliant.
It's brilliant.
It's
And I know a lot of people dislike it, and I think they're justified and they can dislike it all they want, but I also think they're wrong.
I think the reason they dislike it is the reason why I like it so much because the way you
It's
need
what
to.
they were trying to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
So I didn't.
I'm vibing with
know
Kai.
that it
I agree.
was a controversial.
A lot of people hated.
I mean,
a lot of people hated it because
I mean, I
of
think it's
being
probably
the
like, yeah. I think maybe that's like a loud group of people on Twitter that really hate it. I don't know like what the critic consensus was or anything like that. I think it's just a brilliant narrative that does something that only a game can do.
Yeah.
I enjoy the TV show, but there's no way it can ever
it's not the
adapt
same.
to that story properly. It will never be the same. That
feeling.
game did something that video games are uniquely equipped to do, and it did it really well.
I'm telling that story all the time, but I feel like you're the one I should tell it to. When I played Last of Us, and I was like towards the end in the water, and you have to push button and continue, and I just decided that I did not agree. I wasn't agreeing what was happening, and I just dropped the controller, and I was like, I'm not doing that. I am not finishing the game. I do not agree. I don't think that should happen. And my brother, who did like he has a master in video game, and like it was about choices. And he was telling me, you don't have a choice, you need to finish the game. And I was like, someone who had a master told me at one point in my life that we always have the choice. And when we don't have the choice, we have the choice to drop the controller. And he was so pissed at me because I was giving him back his word. But I finished it. So I know what's happening after. But the way they build it, the way they make you be mad at her, and then they make you see the other side is brilliant. Yeah. There's just video game that can bring you to that and make you feel that way and make you understand that there is always two sides of a story, and you cannot just paint people as the bad character and the mean one with like no context. People have more depth than that, and the game was making you feel it so hard. I love that game. It's brilliant. So I fully agree with.
All right, but I have a question about that. Coming from a neophyte on the narrative, I've played Last of Us 2, and I did find that part really interesting, as in like having empathy for what is essentially the bad guy. I didn't find it so innovative though, because like movie-wise, there is a lot of titles that go that way narratively. So is it like a proper video game trope that was like never done before? Because like in a video game, you get a bad guy, therefore he's the bad guy. You don't really need the reason to.
It's not that you're seeing the side of the bad guy. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah. Well,
sorry. I would say. I think I was maybe going to say something quite similar, which is it's not so much that you're seeing it. It's like you're actually in their shoes, right? Like you've walked through the world in the shoes of this one character, and you've seen the world through their eyes, and you've formed opinions based on, their experience. And then the game suddenly flips the script, and you're playing through the game, pretty much the entire game all over again through a different vantage point, and realizing you were essentially wrong the entire time. Like I don't know what the official position Naughty Dog has on this, but like effectively, like Joel was the bad guy, right? Like he made a horrible decision, right? Like because we're seeing the world through his eyes, we don't realize, like just like him, we're seeing it through like a very filtered, very distorted lens. But when you step away and you see the world through someone else's eyes who are impacted by the decisions he made, you realize that he did something quite horrible. And I mean, like on a personal level, he has the right to like make decisions. I'm not going to get into all the things that he did with Ellie and all that kind of stuff, like at the final moments of the first game. But just in like game number 2, he did something terrible, and then we flip the script and we see it through someone else's eyes, and we realize the consequences of the decisions that we had made as that character. And I think what's more interesting than that is oh shit! Sorry, Journey.
To be fair, Journey, it's his take. A lot of people don't think that Joel did something wrong. That's why it's interesting, because people have different take on it, and the way they're seeing it is different. And why a lot of people hated the second game is because they were seeing Joel as them. They were seeing themselves in.
You suddenly saw Mario as like the villain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it changes your whole perspective of everything you'd experienced up to then. And I think, and I'm going to really try not to spoil this, but the whole final act is actually even more compelling because of what you said, where you now have to play as a character who you don't agree with, and they're on a path that you like vehemently dislike. And the game, I assume, is that's what they want you to feel, is they want you to not agree with the character you're playing as anymore. And you have to go through the motions anyways. And it is just such it's such a more active experience where, like, if you're watching a movie and the character's doing something you don't agree with, you're a passive, you're not really participating, you're just passively observing it. Here you have to press forward, you have to press X or whatever it is, like you have to do the actions that you don't agree with to get to a resolution that hopefully maybe you do agree with. And it's a very unique experience, I would say.
An unspoiling side, but that for me tells a lot. You're killing dogs in that game. You have to fight them, and you have to kill them to go forward in the first part. And then when you're the second character, they have name, and you're throwing ball with them. You're playing with them. You're petting them.
Oh my God, for real, I did not remember that. That is.
But you've killed them.
Jesus.
You've killed them.
Yeah, I mean, like fighting dogs in game is.
I hate it.
Something
it's the worst. It's making me so mad every time.
I don't know. Resident Evil is the first game that I remember. Like,
even when there's zombie dogs, I'm like, I'm on the zombie dogs.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight.
If I can not kill them, I will not do it. But that game wants you to be confronted by that. And so no, I'm not gonna extend on anything else, Journey. I just think it's a good example that everyone has a name. People, when character die, others are screaming their name. They want you to understand that there is no good or bad guy. War is war, and everyone is killing everyone, and everyone is bad by doing that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna jump on what Journey said. Complexity and nuance is something that you would see in a movie, right? The immersion part of it, which is, from what I understand, makes The Last of Us something so special.
It's perfect. Yeah.
It's the big difference between, like, it's the added bonus of it's a video game. It's not just a movie, or it's not just a series.
Yeah. But I think it's like you can kind of do this too, where it's we're spending a lot more time with these characters than you would in a movie.
Yeah.
In a movie, like, everything's quite fleeting. Like it's over in an hour and a half typically. There's just like a much richer depth you can get to in games and books than you really can with movies. But with games, I just think there's like I think we're just kind of like scratching the surface of like the whole dynamic of like you actually going through the world as these people and how that can actually change the storytelling. And I think Last of Us 2 is just a really great example of like, not to go and repeat that whole conversation, but like just changing perspectives and how that simple shift and seeing the world through a different character's eyes and walking through the world in their shoes completely changes your entire understanding of everything you've done up to that point.
Yep.
I think it's really cool.
Yep. I'm glad that you choose the second one. I'm really happy. Yeah, we don't usually get that one, and it's definitely I agree. Yay!
Nice.
I like to talk about The Last of Us.
Is there a game that has like frequently come up in these answers?
Monkey
Islander too.
I've never played Monkey Island.
But we had a lot of adventure game
people. Yeah. It comes with the territory. I've played it when I was a kid, but yeah, no, it comes up like Monkey Island. The Zelda series has a bit of popular, like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask are the two main that comes up.
I do love Majora's Mask.
A lot of people are like the beginning, the nostalgia, like the first game they finished, all of those.
Oh,
really?
Oh.
I'm a late player. I was not playing when I was younger. I was looking at my brother play. So I don't have a lot of knowledge of like older game. So I'm more of a RPG newer player. So I would say like Mass Effect and The Witcher are like games that I really like. But when I've played The Last of Us 2, I was like, that is like something else.
It's an incredible experience. Yeah.
I agree.
And I'm like a real sucker for things that like force you to feel things that you kind of maybe don't want to feel.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And like not everything has to be like super happy and heartwarming all the time. Sometimes we can use these mediums to tell stories that are like quite painful and make you and kind of have the goal of making you feel some kind of tougher emotions. But you mentioned The Witcher, and I knew I was gonna. Witcher 3 might need to go on that list somewhere. I don't know what pops out, but yeah.
I would say The Witcher 2 is my favorite more than the third one. I love the second one.
Witcher 2 is, I think, Witcher 2 is really nice, and I kind of prefer that like linear structure, but I just think Witcher 3 is like
the opportunity.
It's maybe like the best open world game.
Yeah, and that I agree.
It's just really impressive.
It's open, but you don't get lost.
Nagging me at that game. I don't like it.
What's that?
Oh,
well, actually, there's two things in Witcher 3. The way that the tree moves with the wind, like it breaks the immersion for me. It's like a tornado all the time.
Do you see how of a AAA game kind of guy you was?
and Witcher 3 and Red Dead Redemption 2 came out close to one another. And I could not look at the horse Roach in Witcher 3 versus all of the horses in Red Dead Redemption. I was like, Jesus, it's like riding a brick in one game and getting like on an actual horse in the... Yeah, but Red Dead broke Witcher 3.
It's definitely a really good open world for the... Yeah, that I agree. I've played a bunch of Fallout, but my mind is not able to focus because I want to do all of those side quests. And I have issue like coming back, I just get lost. And the way Witcher 3 was built is open, but still structured enough for my brain to be able to go do the whole thing and still keep track. So.
I also like I might be tainted because like I said I think I'm more of a reader than a gamer typically.
The books
and I've read the Witcher books. The books are fantastic. It's a really great series. And I probably like very much my opinion of the game is very much colored by like my love for the books. Like I think the games are a great adaptation of the books. They like you get to like live and breathe this world with all these characters that you know and love. So I'm definitely like tainted by that, but I do love The Witcher 3, even just as a game. Trying to like filter out the books, I just think it's a really special game.
I will need to ask, did you watch the series and did you like it?
I watched the series, you know.
Cool, perfect. We're on the same page.
Yeah, it had some moments, but I'm not even against changing things and adaptations. Like if you need to change something to make it work as a series or a movie or whatever, that's fine. Like as long as it makes sense. But like the way that they changed the show just didn't make any sense to me, and it was very
especially if you read the book.
Especially
if you read the book.
And I just don't know why they needed to make the changes that they made. Like, it didn't seem like the books were that hard to adapt to a show in the first place, so I'd rather them just stick with the source material. But I think like Henry Cavill was great.
Yeah, I mean, that is my boy crush forever. That dude, Jesus.
Isn't he the boy crush of every boy ever? I've never heard a boy not having a boy crush on him.
I discovered the work ethic that he had through the Witcher series. I did not read the book. I played the game. Don't think I finished it, but so and I read that they were basing mainly the series on the game, not on the book, or the other way around. I don't know. I don't remember. What I do remember,
I think they just made it up.
Yeah, they did.
Like, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't exist in the books or the movies or the game. And, yeah, it's just kind of all over the place.
I don't know if you know that, but Henry, my boy Henry, said I will not do season 2 because you are way out of the actual material that you're basing this whole thing on.
Yeah,
didn't want to be part because he has work.
I will say, actually, I was like, when he stepped away from the show, I was like, oh, this is gonna be like really bad if they're gonna continue going. But I will say, I think Liam Hemsworth did a pretty good job with what he was given. Like, I don't think the last season was remarkably worse or better than any of the previous seasons. I think he did really well.
I honestly didn't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just think the show is like, the show has some great scenes, but it's a terrible show.
Yeah,
like the structure of the show and the overarching. Yeah.
That's what I was looking for as an answer.
Yeah.
We have a pass.
The old streaming stuff, like the movie industry, the series industry is in total chaos right now. So
yeah,
it's hard to define where a project go wrong and how, because by the time that you see it, it's been like 3 years that they've like had finished the post editing on it. It's
and especially because like you hear all these things with Netflix where they're like telling the showrunners that like you have to repeat the plot like 3 times per episode because people aren't paying attention, and you have to like everything has to be center frame. Like there's so much like, yeah, it's. I don't fault anyone who like worked on the show. Like I'm sure they tried to make the best show they could. I don't like talking negative about it, but like I just think it has some great scenes, but it just made some changes I don't really understand.
And people that didn't read the book or didn't play the game could appreciate it as a thing on its own. Yeah. So it's not for us.
Yeah. And then I'm just sitting there the whole time being like, Geralt would never say that.
Yeah.
Just, like, I know. Angry. Yeah.
And the female character, I have an issue with a lot of them and a lot of the decision they made about like beauty. I don't like it. And I know it's dumb, but their age is also an issue with me. I feel like it's not working.
Agreed.
But we have passed our 2 hours mark, and we have had a big question, and we did all of the thing. So it's time to say thank you for spending time with us and for answering all of our chaos questions.
Thank you, Kyle. It was kind of chaotic.
It was cool.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Jess. We are usually more.
No, we're always chaotic. Don't lie. Don't lie.
I'm a bit of a rambler, so I might have thrown off the flow a little bit.
It was really interesting.
Rambling.
You have Blue Sky thing. So Blue Sky thing was it the fact that you're all both following each other. Did I see that? Yeah. We follow another on Blue Sky. I didn't realize. I'll be keeping a close eye on your post. Ooh.
What's
So yeah.
your username? Is it the same?
Just Journey?
I'm gonna quickly look this up.
Is it Pixel Journey? I'm not sure.
I think it's
There's
Pixel
Journey for
Journey.
sure in it.
Yeah.
But I don't remember your... Just Journey, yeah. The handle is the same.
Oh yeah, we do follow each other. Interesting. I don't know why, but that's cool.
So thank you so much, everyone, for being there. And we're going to see each other next week for our next DevTalk. But in the meantime, take care. Have a great
Do we
rest
know
of your
who
day.
is it with?
Yes, we know. I have this in my calendar. If you give me 3 seconds, I can click.
Maybe Kyle knows it.
Click.
Him
And
or
it's
her.
Autoscopia Interactive that we have next week. It's the game about dementia in Alzheimer. That
Right.
Cool.
that we're
Oh my
going to be
God,
able
yeah,
to
it's
talk
right
with them
up
about.
our alley.
Yeah.
That's going to be...
It's going to be
Cool. I'm gonna tune in for that. That sounds interesting.
Have a great day, everyone. Take care.
Have a great one. Thank you,
you guys so
Kyle.
much.